Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are having a good day. If you have been paying attention to the crypto market, well, one thing that's very exciting is if you have been paying attention to the altcoin market, in the last 2 hours, finally Dogecoin was able to break above the super trend being a downtrend, and it's been flipped into an uptrend. Why is this so significant? You need to understand, after a very long period of time, I'm talking about since 28th of July, which is about 7 days, we have been in a very significant downtrend, and this is the first move towards an uptrend. There is a little bit of profit taking ever since we have crossed the 20-cent mark, but there is definitely a chance for consolidation and the market moving a little bit higher. But as I mentioned before, just in the last video, be a little bit cautious, especially if you're going to be leverage trading. Don't go over leverage trade, because there is still not a certain support that Bitcoin is sitting on. Until Bitcoin does not climb back to 117 or at least 116.5, it's hard to predict if Bitcoin price will be able to sustain or go down and retest close to 107,000. So if you want to buy in, that's completely okay, but leverage trading, just be a little cautious. On the other end, Dogecoin price drop leads to a partial liquidation of large leveraged position. Institutes increase accumulation. So as I mentioned, with accumulation it's fine, but if you're going to be doing your large leverage plays, it can get you into a lot of debt. And Dogecoin shows potential bullish momentum amid the Elliott wave pattern and the RSI signals. And Trump says Bitcoin is amazing, it's a great thing for our country. While 60% of the traders on Binance futures open Bitcoin positions are currently leaning towards bullish, and there's this one whale that I've been paying attention to which decided to cut down on some of the sales. Now, before we get into the full details of all that, if you guys are here for the first time, you want to stay up to date with everything to do with the crypto market, scroll down, tap the red subscribe button, especially turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date with the latest and the greatest news relating to Dogecoin first, and drop a like on it. Let's go for a like goal of 49. Now, if we do smash that 49, I know we will, because we've been smashing every single like goal. You guys are legends. Now, first of all, let's talk about the price action of Bitcoin. Now, I mentioned before that currently there is no such evidence of any sort of resistance or support that Bitcoin is currently sitting on, because we're pretty much very close to the territory of all-time high. So it's a little bit hard to predict in terms of what direction Bitcoin is going to take. But at the same time, there is not significant support, meaning this recovery is just from the whales deciding to buy in, trying to push the market back up. Now, this recovery can help the market recover, but at the same time, there is no such thing as a support which can be help from traders, meaning this is all going to be a free run. Now, this free run could easily make it back to 116.5 or 117. If that happens, we're back at a very advantage position for Bitcoin. But if it does not, and there's a little bit of panic selling that takes over the market, we can go all the way down to 107,000 and retest all the way there, because that's the previous critical support area. That's why I'm saying Dogecoin has recaptured 20 cents, which is very crucial and very important. But if it is not going to be able, if Bitcoin is not able to sustain its price, very likely Dogecoin will not be able to do so as well. So currently, the best way to predict what's going to happen is if Dogecoin is able to capture 22 cents. After that, the entire market will be going towards a positive trend. And this whale, which I just mentioned, now you guys can see about 3 days ago, they were aggressively selling Dogecoin at the price of 20 cents. Now, the price has come back to 20 cents, and you can see that the sales have not returned, meaning this whale is finally seeing a little bit of potential for the market to make a recovery. They're still down about $15 million, and there's this other whale, which clearly gives you an idea that they're in a very interesting state. That's all I'm gonna say, because there's a lot of transactions which are happening, but they are down about $2 million. And the open interest for Dogecoin is now come to a standstill close to 1.5 billion, which is good, because now it's got time to be able to recover. And also 80% are still going long on Dogecoin, while Bitcoin is pretty much come to a standstill on 38 billion, and 66% are going long. And the liquidations in the last 24 hours have been a little bit better for the long traders as compared to the short. And the TD indicator just flashed a buy signal on the Bitcoin 12-hour chart. Now, this is good because Bitcoin has not received a buy signal in the last, let's say, 48 hours, and this is the first one, clearly suggesting there is a little bit of hope that the market can start making a recovery. Now, Michael Saylor just made this announcement. Winter is not coming back. Now, for the people who are new to crypto and don't know, pretty much crypto works in cycles. We're gonna have a little bit of a bull cycle, or which is seen as summer, and then we're gonna have a little bit of a bearish cycle, which is known as winter. Now, what Michael Saylor is saying, this cycle we're not gonna be receiving a winter, meaning 2026 the market is not just gonna hardcore start dropping. Do I agree with this? Now, I do understand where he's coming from, because obviously the ETFs have been released this time around. Secondly, the market is actually showing a lot more positive trend, and a lot of institutions and the governments around the world are starting to jump into it, meaning there's obviously going to be a lot more money that's actually going to be flowing through the crypto market, making it a little bit harder to push it completely down. But if we follow the trend and the institutes are also doing something similar, because the market is not controlled by retail investors, there's still a chance. Okay, that's all I'm saying. A bearish market is cancelled. I don't know. And SEC chairman, regulation by enforcement against Bitcoin and crypto is over. Major shift in approval towards digital asset. I mean, I do agree with this statement, because the amount of things they have done just in the last, let's say, 3 months since he's been in office is incredible, especially for crypto, because it's a lot more positively impacted. And at the same time, there is a lot of, on ground works which are happening. Now, the reason I'm using that word is because they're going to be going to so many different states and meeting with people to try to come to a proper regulation for crypto. And Dogecoin's 3x 5x potential unveiled as analysts highlight Dogecoin's most opportunity among altcoins. So Dogecoin is back in the range that's historically served as a buying zone, triggering a major bull run. So are we going to be expecting another massive run from Dogecoin and maybe making it to $1? I would not be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. And Dogecoin Cardano take a major hit as crypto sell-off deepens. I mean, if you pay attention, Cardano and Dogecoin in the last 7 days have taken the largest hit, and that's the reason why Tron was able to take over the 8th spot. But the trading volume is still supporting Dogecoin, and most likely it will be able to recapture it. And the gap in the US employment data triggers a decline. Is Bitcoin poisoned for recovery? Now, the recovery on Bitcoin is heavily dependent on the way the entire market is going to move, because if there is, recapture of 116,000, Bitcoin would be able to make a quick recovery, while Bitcoin season may persist as altcoin season index signals the market dominance shift. I mean, if you just look over here, you come to realize that Bitcoin is actually climbing pretty well, and altcoin season needs a lot of push to ensure it stays on. But overall, the market is slowly starting to show recovery. Be a little bit cautious. Nothing I said is financial advice, just my personal opinion. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon.